So hyper IgE syndrome. So this is autosomal dominant. There is a defect in the T helper 17. Now, what is the importance of this T helper 17? So it promotes the neutrophil proliferation and the chemotaxis to site of infection. So because the chemotaxis is not occurring, that is why there are cold abscesses. That is lack of inflammation, no erythema and tenderness. There is recurrent infection, cyanopulmonary infection. So in both the hyper IgM and hyper IgE, the problem is with the T cell. Here there is a defect in the CD40 ligand, and here there is a defect in the T helper 17. So there is infections now because it is a problem with the cellular immunity. That is why you will have staph aureus, Candida albicans. Okay. Chronic now usually within the first few weeks of life, and usually the first presenting feature of this hyper IgE syndrome, IgE. So that is where there is a chronic severe atopic dermatitis, and it is seen in the first few weeks of life. So there is extremely itchy rash and lichenified plaques, and there is an increase in the IgE. There is eosinophilia. Okay. Now total WBC count is, now this is important because there is a defect in the chemotaxis. Okay. And even the neutrophil proliferation. So the total WBC will remain normal even during the time of infection, where when it should increase, there should be a leukocytosis you are expecting during infections, but the WBC count is not rising because there is a problem with the neutrophil proliferation. Okay, so WBC count is normal instead of leukocytosis. There is an increased IgE, there is eosinophilia, and the diagnosis is confirmed by molecular genetic testing. Because you will see the defect in the T helper 70. It is an autosomal dominant, whereas hyper IgM is X-linked recessive. Okay, now we have one more thing which is important is the selective IgA deficiency. Why this is important? Because it is the most common primary immunodeficiency, and it is usually asymptomatic. You come to know only when you are doing transfusion. Okay, so usually it is asymptomatic and the most common primary immunodeficiency. Now again, here there are recurrent cyanopulmonary and GI infections if the patient is symptomatic, if it's severe. Okay, and along with this there can be autoimmune disease like celiac disease because it is IgA. Okay, so celiac disease, and asthma and eczema can be there, and low or absent IgA. Rest of the things will be normal. B cell, IgG, IgM is only IgA is low or absent. So this is the diagnosis. Now usually what happens in these patients is when the patient is having a severe IgA deficiency, usually they develop IgE antibodies against IgA. So that is why if you don't know and you give blood products which are having small amounts of IgA, usually it is there in the plasma. So there can be a fatal anaphylaxis. That is why these patients have to receive blood products that are washed of the residual plasma or from an IgA deficient donor. So that is why they need to have a medical alert bracelet, okay, for before giving transfusion, okay, to identify that they are having severe deficiency, and the solution is only supportive care. Okay, now we come to the phagocyte disorders. So in phagocyte disorder, phagocytes, okay, so we have only two disorders. One is a chronic granulomatous disease and another is a leukocyte adhesion defect. Okay. Now in chronic granulomatous disease, it's an X-linked recessive mutation in the NADPH oxidase. Okay, now why this enzyme is important? Because it is required for the formation of neutrophil superoxide, that is the respiratory burst. So here, because the respiratory burst is impaired, now respiratory burst is important for what? It is important for the phagocytic intracellular killing. Okay, for the intracellular killing, so it is not able to do that. Okay, so what will happen? That phagocytes will reach the site of infection, but they will not be able to kill the they will phagocyte they will do the phagocytosis of the bacteria, but it will not be able to kill it inside the cell, so they will be filled with bacteria. Okay. Now, there are recurrent infections in the lungs, skin, liver, lymph tissues, bones. So, usually, you have this patient has recurrent pneumonia, cellulitis, osteomyelitis, and perirectal infections and abscesses in skin, liver, lymph nodes is very common. So, now, okay, so why now this person is only affected